Hi everyone, it's MJ here from my paper journey. Back like I promised. We're going to work on making a snippet. And a snippet is not going to be like the one that you place on the wall and and decorate your craft room. It's going to be one that you will be able to snip with scissors to apply onto a tag, a journal page, an envelope, whatever you want to decorate for your journal, whatever you're making. So it's going to be a very simple, nothing fancy snippet row that I'm going to make. Using the backing with the shipping paper that you get, packages that you get in the mail, like from Amazon and so forth. So as you notice, there's not a whole lot of embellishment, just little pieces of fabrics and scraps of lace, a little bit of trim here and there. So we're going to keep it really, really simple. So if you want to gather your things, pause the video and we'll get started. I have here the scraps of fabrics that I got from my bag. I have a grocery bag full of scraps of fabrics because of all the sewing that I've been doing, making masks that I give away to friends and family and strangers that I see out there that aren't wearing a mask. I give them a mask, and luckily no one has refused a mask. They've all kindly and graciously accepted the mask from me and thanked me. So that's what I have, and I have some packaging paper that I saved that we're going to use. I don't need all of this. This is way too much, but it came in a package that I got from Amazon, so I saved it. You can use copy paper if you have scraps of copy paper. We don't want to use cardstock. It has to be paper that is not thick. Okay, no cardstock. But if you have a lot of scrap of pieces of copy paper, whether they're coffee dyed or not, we're going to use that. And if you have pieces of laces and scraps, this is my my jar. I used to hold cashews that I got at Costco. So now I'm using my container to store in my scraps of lace and whatnots. So that's what we're going to use. And instead of using the sewing machine, I thought that because not everybody has a sewing machine, if you can find a needle and thread. I'm going to try sewing on, doing a slow stitch or hand stitching instead of machine stitching like I did here. I want to do a hand stitch, and you're going to need, of course, a pair of scissors, and you're going to need some glue. And the glue is not to glue the pieces completely, it's just to tack them down in place. And whatever your heart desires that you have that you want to use for your snippet. Okay, so let's pause and I'll see you next when you have everything put together. All right, okay, I'm back, everybody. So have you have all your materials that I suggested to get together? I have one thing I forgot also. If you want to add some buttons, but I would probably wait on embellishments, like buttons and flowers, a little charms and all that, to hold off on applying any of them until you're ready to use your snippet, because you know, where it may lay, it may not necessarily be a charm in the spot that you may want it to be when you're going to apply this on a tag or an envelope, wherever you want to apply it. So we're just going to do a simple, just fabric, scraps of fabric, scraps of lace, and that's pretty much it. Scraps of paper if you want to apply some paper. I don't think I did on this applied any paper. All I did was scraps of fabric and lace and some trim like I did right here. And this is just a little piece of specialty yarn that was just laying around, and I just happened to put it there. Okay, so let's get started. I started to here while I paused it and waited for you to gather your material. I started just cutting pieces of fabric, and then I said, no, let me stop. So for those that may want to see, you know, I just start cutting. I made no sense, no rhyme or reason, no particular shape or size, okay, because we may not use all of them, but you know, they're going to be there for us to use. And I'm kind of staying in the neutral browns and, you know, grays. And this was a napkin that I cut up. I needed to line an inside of a mask, and so I happened to find this napkin inexpensive in the thrift store. And yeah, by the way, guys, how are you all doing? I think I got too excited having to share. I'm doing a simple snippet that I completely forgot to say to ask you how you are all doing, and if you've been crafting. And also to my sister Frankie. Hi Frankie. Hi Elena. Hi mamas. Eileen and Jenny. Hi girls. How are you all doing? And I hope you're all been doing well. Hi Alejandro. That's my grandnephew. He loves dinosaurs and spiders. I sent a package to with books to my grandniece Elena and Alejandro. I sent them a few books to each one, and a spider and some dinosaurs for Alejandro. He is 3 years old, and my niece Elena is 6. She'll be 7, or did she turn 7? She's, yeah, oh my goodness. She's 7, and Alejandro is 4. And okay, I get some more fabrics here. I'm gonna keep on cutting, okay? So while you guys are doing that, I'm gonna pause it and be right back. Yeah, I forgot to mention, I'm not cutting in any particular size, but they're about an inch and a half. Some of them may be even smaller, like this. Or this one. This one's about an inch by 3/4. It depends. Like, see, this was just a little scrap at the end. I just went ahead and trimmed it off. But I'm not measuring them. This one's about a maybe 1.75 inches or so. So in case you're wondering the size, if you find that it's a little bit too big for your taste, once we apply it and when we start making the snippet, you could always trim it. So like, I have this piece here, so I'm just like cutting it, you know, in the middle, and I'm just kind of cutting scraps. You know, it doesn't matter the size. if for some reason it's too big and I don't like it, I can just trim it down. So don't worry too much about that. Because I know probably some of you will say, well, she didn't say like what size to cut it, and I didn't. I apologize, but they could be like 1.5 to an inch, 2 inches, if you want to. 1 3/4 inches probably be the. I wouldn't go bigger than 1 3/4 inches or 2 inches. Probably 1 3/4 inches, 1.5 inches or so. It depends. If you want to make a wide snippet, then yeah. But I'm keeping. I want to keep my a snippet, you know, like this size. Let me see. If you count the lace that I've added, it's like 3 inches. But if you notice, the back of the paper that I use as a backing is about 1.25 inches wide, and they're not all. And here is even smaller. It's a little bit less than 1 inch. So it doesn't, you know, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to keep on cutting, and you keep on cutting your pieces that you want to use. All right? I'll be back. Oops, sorry guys, didn't mean to make you guys dizzy, but I just came across this scrap as I was cutting, and if you notice, it's fraying on the end. You know, that's okay. You know, that gives it interesting look also. You know, it'll add a dimension and extra to your snippet roll. So if you have some of those like that, you know, use it. Okay, don't disregard those. Okay, be right back. Okay, so did you get all your scraps cut into pieces? I'm done with cutting my scrap piece of fabric, and then I went ahead and cut off a piece of the shipping paper, and I am not going to measure. I'm just going to cut. This is about 1.5 inches, maybe less. And don't worry about being perfect, because that's the part that's going to be as the base that you're going to be gluing on to your project. Let's see. Of course, you don't want it this small, so I'm going to trim this off. And cut this off. And I didn't keep, I didn't measure any of it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue these scraps of shipping paper, or in your case, if you don't have shipping paper, copy paper, well, I don't know about newspaper, magazine, book pages, just cut them into strips. Of course, the book pages are not going to be as long or as wide, so you're going to have to glue quite a bit to make a long strip. This one I want to say turned out to be, this is about 1 yard. 1.25 yards or so, or 1.25 yards. We're going to start with that. And see here, this is wider, and here it's narrow here at the end. You know, and it doesn't matter. So the next thing I do is just apply just a little bit of glue. Not a lot, okay? And I would probably, this is about 10 inches that I'm working with. And let me see. Let's start with this piece here. And don't worry if you don't cover I wanted a neutral, and I wanted some color, so that's why I have some greens, some browns. This is like an army green fabric, and I'm just at random. Okay, and I want some green because whatever colors that you mostly use, and that's what I usually use, is like greens, brown, beige, pinks, just a little bit. So, you know, just lay it on there. This is pretty green. Put it there. See, I'm not overthinking it. I'm not planning anything. So put that butterfly there because I like that butterfly. And that's why I kind of went around it. I wanted to keep it. Not that it'll probably show too much. Oops. Sorry if I was off frame. And let me see. I'll put some green. Hope it's at the wrong side. No, it's the right side. And let me see. Put a little bit of glue here. Okay, on my other ones, I don't think I added, I want a little small piece. I'll put it right there. Maybe I want a small piece of brown. Somewhere is a smaller piece. Like there. And so I'm not calling this a tutorial, guys. This is more of my process, or if you want to craft along with me. And I apologize if I keep getting off frame. And maybe a little piece over here. Okay. Let me see what am I working with right now. I have about 13 inches. So, see? 13 inches, and look at all these that I still have. So you don't need a whole lot. Okay. So then once I've already tacked down my fabric at random, as you see, I didn't plan it. I just put it down wherever. Okay. Then I'm going to go to my scraps. I have some scraps of lace here. Some scraps lace here from the previous little pieces. Even this little piece of string I'm going to use. Just want to empty out this little container. Okay. So if you notice, they're just little scraps. Little scraps. I don't want this to be complicated for you, where you think that, oh yeah, there's a formula how to do this, right or wrong, or how to do this. There isn't. So I'm getting into my jar. I'm going to pull out some scraps here. And okay, I'm just going to start putting some glue. Not a lot, just so that we can tuck it down. And then just look, okay, where would I want to put this at? And I think I'll put it here. Okay. And then I have this here piece that it's a little bit distressed with ink. And if you want to, you can distress and add more if you want to. Just a little bit of glue, and I'm going to put it right there. There is, I'm not trying to find out what the right or wrong on this one is, but I guess it doesn't matter. And I'm just going to put it, it doesn't matter where it goes, okay? It's just a string, and I'll put it right here. I think the glue was on the other side, so it's not really on there, you know, really good. Okay, it's just a temporary tack, because then we're going to put other layers of stuff. Now this piece, it's a little bit too big, so I'm going to get my scissors. And I'm just going to cut pieces of lace. Random pieces, like so. And then I have this scrap of lace here. I'm just going to cut pieces. Like so. And then use these other small pieces that I pulled out, because I don't want to put them back into my little container there. So I'm just going to apply them anywhere. I'm not even thinking it. There, stay there. And that's how I did my my snippet. And I'll put it there for now. A little bit of glue on this lace fabric. And I'm just gonna put it over the fabric there. And then this one here. This is a long piece. This is about 2.5 inches. But instead of putting it sideways, across like that, I'm going to put it sideways, like so. Stay. And then this piece of lace here, just place it there. As you notice, I am not, there's no formula. Just lay it down. Don't overthink it. Get over your fears, because that's how it was the first time that I made a snippet. Just put it right here. And this pretty lace, I think I'll just put it there. That's why I wanted the color fabric, so some of the color can show through the lace. And then the lace on top kind of mutes down the bright colors of the fabric if it's too bright. See, like I said, I was going to cover up the butterfly. It didn't matter because you won't see the butterfly. And then just put it there like that. Looks like I need a little bit more lace and fabric. This is like a kind of sheer eyelet fabric that was part of a blouse that I kind of took apart. And it has the seam right there, but you know what, I'm going to use that too, just so that it'll add a little bit more texture. And just put some glue and put down your fabric anywhere you want, or your lace and trim, or whatever you happen to be using. I think I'll use this over here. And use this smaller piece here. No, I think I want that, the wrong side. I'm going to put it face up because it kind of gives it, you know, more texture to the snippet. I don't want to put it too close together either, so I'll put it here. And, okay, then I'm gonna, while that dries, that's all I'm gonna do to that. Well, I have some of this special trim. It's not trim, crochet thread, kind of like feathery kind of look. And let's give some little interest over here, right there. Put it there. And let's add some interest over this here. Okay. So there's really no right or wrong. So I'm just gonna press it down so that it does, make sure that it stays tacked down a bit. Okay, so I'm gonna continue there. Now I'm just gonna add some more fabric here. Sticking to my fingers. I think just a smaller piece here. And I'll use the small green piece there. It's hard to tell which one is the wrong side or the right side of the fabric on some of these because they're kind of similar. So if you notice, I'm cutting some of these even smaller. Like I said, that you can do that. I'm going to leave that one as it is, wide. Green. Put some brown. I'll put a big brown one piece right here. Put that there. Put that there. Put a little bit of glue there just so that it'll hold. Okay, like so. And let me see, do I have any other scraps of lace there? I do. Sometimes when I find a lace and it has like a full flower like that, I just kind of cut around it, okay? That I do sometimes. So maybe I'll put it like right there. And that, put that there. And then maybe cut these a little bit smaller. And just lay them there. This is like the tulle, you know, like a tulle lace fabric. Let me see. Maybe I want a piece right here on this part there. So then you can go back and look on your snippet and see there's other places and areas that you may want to add. You know, maybe another piece of a lace, you know, because this is just how I do it. I not really sat and watch how other people do theirs. This is just kind of like what I decided. That's how I was going to do mine. You know, and this works fine with me. And then when I'm ready to use my snippet, then if I want to add a charm to it, some bling bling, then I'll do so then. But I'm not going to, this is just a plain simple snippet without any theme, any you know, any a rhyme. I'll just lay that there. See what else do I have here. Let's see. This is a little too thick. Yeah, it's too thick and bulky, so I don't think I want to use that. I have this piece of lace, a scrap. I'll use that and put it, just tack it here. No, I don't know if I already tacked all these other scraps that I put down. I didn't really pay attention. Oh, here. Let's see, what else do I want to add? I'll add some of, oh, I already have that there. Let me see what else I have. Oh, I have a piece of eyelash trim that I want to add. I'll add it right here. So basically, where you see a gap of fabric that doesn't have the lace, then you know that's where you want to put some lace. That's if you want to use lace. Okay, you can use whatever you want. And this is what I do. So now I'm just going to let this dry a little bit, and then I'm going to do the hand stitching, okay? So you guys continue to work on yours, and then just tack your pieces however you want them, and then your scraps of lace on top, And that kind of mutes down the colors. So here it's a little bit strong, so maybe I'll put another piece of lace there. And that's pretty much it, guys. You know, do what feels good to you. You know, you don't necessarily have to go by how I'm doing it or how other people do it, because it's your snippet. It's your project. You're gonna be the one to use it, and yeah, ultimately you the one. I have another piece of lace, scrap of lace here. Maybe I'll just cut and put, instead of having so much white, some of that is too white lace. I think I want to add you know, more beige. Let me see over here. Oops, it's stuck to my finger. Oh, where did I put it? Here? I don't remember. I think I put another piece here. Oh. And I think I'll put another piece over here on this end. So if you notice, you don't even use a whole lot of material to make this. And where is my cover to my glue? I always do that. I always lose my cover to my glue. I'm gonna have to put a safety pin, a little pin on top for now. Grab one from here, just to keep that. So I'm gonna let this dry a bit, guys. Okay, and then I'll come back. Okay, I'm back. It's been about 5 minutes. It's just been a second for you. I think somewhere where I put a little bit extra glue. It's a little damp right here and a little bit here, but it's okay. So now what I'm gonna do is gonna get my thread. I got my needle, my thread, and I think I'm gonna get about so that I can work with probably about 2 feet of thread or so. And I was going to use the black thread, and if you notice, my needle has a big eye. Why? Because yours truly, it's hard at seeing. So maybe I got about a yard, but I'm gonna work with it double thread. Okay, I was gonna use the black so you guys can see the stitching, but it was too big of a contrast and I didn't want plus it got all tangled up, see, and I didn't want to mess with it. So what I do is I twist my thread. I get both ends here for those that this is how I make my knot. So then I just turn, I have this, and then I just, with my thumb, I roll it up, and then you end up with this little loop, and then you just pull, and then you see the knot right there. Do you see it? And if you don't see it, I'll do it again. Make another knot. Now it's a bigger knot, see? And it doesn't matter because it's going to be on the back side. So then what I do is we're gonna do the stitching, hand stitching on the top here, and then turn around and then do the bottom. And also because the hand stitching, the stitches are not really close together like on a sewing machine. So when it comes time for you to snip it, they may come undone. So what I'm suggesting is that after you do the slow stitching, is like then we're going to turn this face down, and then we're going to run some glue over the stitching on the, on top and the bottom, and kind of spread it with our fingers to kind of secure our slow stitching or hand stitching onto our snippet. Okay, so let's get started. And like I said, it's a double strand of thread. And I guess best way to do it is turn this around and just start at the end, and maybe about a 1/4 of an inch in, just so that you can able to get tack, with the slow stitching, grab all the fabrics on top and then all the fabrics on the bottom and the lace. And you can do them as far apart, as close as you like. And I'm not even going to bother to see how even they are. And that's how come I said get a flexible paper. See my stitches in the back? Okay. It's easier to hold and to stitch by hand than if you got cardstock, because this flexible paper kind of works like fabric. Just in and out. And I usually do like maybe three at a time. And you do have to be kind of careful not to catch it into the other laces. So this is so far. Oh, look at a big old gap right here. Okay, so I guess I better be more careful, huh? So get it closer here so you can see what I'm doing. And what I do with, I put my index finger from my left hand to support the back as I do my hand stitching. If you want to do one at a time, so then you go in from the top, pull your thread, and then turn around, and then put your needle in your next stitch, and then you pull it. And then you do the same thing, and then the front, like so. And remember, it's paper, so don't pull too hard because it can still rip. If you want to do it through the back part so you can see the stitches on the back, but more important is to see the front. Oops, what did I do here? Don't want to get it all tangled, because I am good at doing that. So yeah, that's why it's better just, and then I want to make sure that I'm grabbing my fabrics, especially the lace that are kind of thin, that has a lot of gaps, a lot of openings, because the lace is kind of not very dense. Okay, let me move this. Oops, sorry. Just a little bit. So I'm gonna keep on stitching, and you can do the same. I feel like I'm sewing like this. Feel like I'm back in my days when I used to make my Barbie dresses for my dolls. Because that's how I used to sew them by hand. Now, if you have a sewing machine, then you just sew right on top here and then on the bottom, making sure that you're grabbing, you know, part of the lace and fabric that you have laid down. Okay, so I'm going to keep on sewing, and I hope you do too. And I'll be right back when I get to the end over here. Okay, and then I'm gonna then go down and then sew right across the to the beginning. I am not going to cut this off because I want to be able to roll this up when I'm done and put it away this way. Or like I have it here, I made my own with just cardboard from packaging. I made my own little spool. And see, these are scraps that I cut off that I didn't use. So this is when, let's say, this is the reason why I'm not having you add any buttons, embellishment, and all that, because let's say you want to use this piece, okay? And you want to add a stamp. So if you ahead of time add the stamps, or let's say you want to use a charm, you want to sew on a charm, okay? Well, first of all, you won't be able to sew it on with a sewing machine. And second, maybe this portion of your snippet is not the piece that really goes with the project you're working with. Maybe this, because it has pink and beige, and so you want to add it to that, like so. See? That's why we're just doing just a simple basic snippet with no embellishments. It's, I guess you can say, a blank snippet. And why it being a blank snippet is just the paper and scraps of fabric and lace that you can embellish with whatever charms and buttons and stamps and little tiny pictures of flowers that you want to add. Then you can do so when you're ready to use your snippet. Okay, that's why I'm calling it just a blank snippet roll. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to keep on sewing, and in the meantime you do the same, and I'll be back. I'm back, guys. I wanted to show you, for those that aren't sewn before, this is what I do. I'm getting towards almost the end of my thread, and I'm going to make another stitch, and then what I do is grab a little bit of fabric and paper. Don't close the whole loop. Run your needle through, so don't leave your thread too short, and then once again, kind of like a surgeon knot twice. Don't pull it too hard, okay? And then trim it off, and then rethread my needle, and then I'm going to continue again. All right? Okay, I've rethreaded my needle. I made my knot. Now this is where I knot off. So I'm just going to I started to sew again, and then I go, I better show up a close. So I'm going to start over again. There's my knot right there. And then I'm just going to keep on sewing the remainder of my snippet row. Now, if you're not comfortable doing as many stitches as I am, you can do 1 or 2 at a time, is fine. But I'd rather stitch from the front so that I can see my fabric, so that I can make sure that I'm putting my stitches on my lace in the front. And if you notice, I am not being precise. Oh, this came off, so I gotta sew this. Okay, so you just go in, and then about a 1/4 of an inch or less. I think I created a knot there. No. So, just in and out. See, this piece came off because I didn't tack it down very well. As you can see, I wasn't using a lot of glue. Where was this at? I guess it doesn't really matter. I just want the lace on top. Oh, here's my cap right in front of me. I didn't even see it. Okay, so I'm going to keep on sewing, guys. And then we'll work on the back part, okay? Okay, I'm at the end here. So I just wanted to show you again. So just go back a little bit, get some paper and some other fabric in the front. Make a hoop, or loop, double loop like this. Okay, insert your needle through the loop once and twice again, and then just gently pull until you feel that it locks in, so your knot is secure. Don't pull too hard because it's paper. You can yank it right off the paper, and then trim. Okay, and I'll show you what it looks like from the back. And it's not going to be perfect. Okay, it's all hand stitch. And some of this I didn't grab the paper, but it did grab the see the stitching there, the fabric. Okay, so now, so that we can use it, well, there's another option that I think, if you want to do it and just to feel secure, is to glue another piece of paper like that underneath, if you want to. But I think I'm just gonna put glue like so over the stitches. I think it'll might work. But if you don't feel too too sure of your stitching, then do what I just did. Then grab, oops, I'm a little sloppy here. Grab another piece of that paper shipping, and then just make sure that it's wide enough to cover both sides, because this is not wide enough. Okay, so let me cut one back wide enough for that. Okay, and I'm just gonna put it on the top. So then that way, when you cut pieces off to use your snippet, then you'll know that the stitching is not going to come undone. Okay, so this is what my slow stitching. You can't really see the stitching, can you? And some of them you can, like right here. So this is what my snippet slow stitching looks like. Like right here, you can see the stitching. See? That's why I decided to go with a lighter thread. Not to mention that my black thread got all, it came all undone and twisted, and it tangled up in me. And see, and I didn't want to have to mess with it. So maybe that was a good thing that it happened. So in the meantime, I'm just going to continue to put more glue, and then our snippet is ready, and you guys can use it to embellish whatever you like. I hope you found this craft along, and it's not really a tutorial, it's just demonstrating how I do it. You're gonna later on make your own way of doing things, whatever works for you better. That's it, guys. That's my that's how I do it. And like I said, when you're ready to use to embellish it, then you can add your little charms, add your little stamps or little ephemeras or whatever, you know, as you cut whatever piece you need to the size that you need. And then just roll it up into something like this, like I did right here, and then store it. And yeah, that's it. Hope you liked it. Give me a thumbs up. And if you have any questions, if I didn't make something clear, because I'm not that great at explaining things, leave me a comment and I'll try to answer you as best as I can. And that's it. In the meantime, you all have a wonderful weekend. Today is Sunday, so have a good week. And may God watch over you and put a hedge of protection, you and your family. Keep you safe and well. All right, keep on crafting, guys. Take care. Love ya. Bye.